Morning, everyone. It's 8:55, and this is your pre-opening comment. It is um, number 980 for Friday morning, 10:15, and don't forget it is an options expiration day. Uh, we had a bunch of economic numbers. We had retail sales come in at plus 7/10 versus down 2/10 expected. We had import prices come in at up zero point 0.4 versus up zero point 0.5 expected. And we had those, so those are both positives. The index, Empire Manufacturing Index, is a huge miss, 19.8 versus 26.5. And I have to say that today's commentators, including the Fed president from Virginia, are absolutely assholes. I mean, I can't believe what I hear from these people about how the inflation is basically a um, supply chain issue. It's not a supply chain issue. Not for food. They said food, especially, a supply chain. Food is not a supply issue. Food is a supply issue, not a supply chain issue. Shortages, oats, corn, ever since we started using ethanol, big pieces of the corn go there. Coffee, crop failure in Brazil. That is not supply chain. That is supply. There are no food shortages based on supply. And another thing that they're talking about, well, inflation is, we got it wrong. It's worse than we expected. But it's not going to continue to accelerate. Well, what that means is it's going to stay high. Even if the rate of change is not, the change is already in there. And one more issue that I just was thinking about um, in the last day or so after the JOLTS number, and that is maybe the JOLTS number is getting so high because they're crappy jobs and because there are a lot of people who are already working two jobs. Think about that when you realize that all of these food issues are the biggest tax on that group. A family that has one person who works a job or two, and then a second member who works a job or two, they can't get any more jobs. There aren't enough hours in the day in order for them to do that. So, this is really annoying when you hear all this and then you hear that the market was up 5.25 yesterday. This morning, before those economic numbers, the Dow was up 170, currently up 240. The Nasdaq was up another 55 on top of yesterday's 250, up 50 after that, and the S&P, which was up 74 and a half, is up 21 versus 18 and a half before the numbers. So there's a huge disconnect between the real world and what these ivory tower people who don't need a second job, who don't care if food prices go up 8 or 10%, have no bearing in reality. Consumer sentiment comes out at 10. Business inventories comes out at 10. Asia and Europe were both up. Earnings beats, Goldman Sachs, JBHT, JBH Hunt, Alcoa, all with beats. And I think that the biggest piece of that gain from 170 to 230 was after the Goldman Sachs announcement. The stock is up about 5. JBH is 181 and a half, up 6.25. PNC, which beat on earnings but missed on revenues is unchanged, and Alcoa, which closed at 48 and change yesterday, is 51.76, up 316. And just one piece of information from last night, Virgin Galactic, SPCE, delayed till the fourth quarter of 22 any commercial activity because of FAA inspections. The stock was 2406 yesterday, traded as low as 1852 overnight, and is currently trading right around 20, down about $4. So enough soapbox. Be careful out there. I am looking at Newell Rubbermaid, and this chart on the screen is the gold. I said yesterday that, or the day before yesterday, when we sold, that we were selling under this 200-day and making the percentage play because we've had resistance there. This morning we're down $27. We also got a little bit back in our TLT trade, the bonds, and we got this rally. This is why I don't sell options at a nickel usually. We were bouncing off this long-term trend line. We got 46 or 48 cents for them yesterday. They were the 146s. The TLT is 144.88 now. Those will be worthless at the open. So we did a little better. It was still a loss, and I'm sorry for that. But the fact is, we're not holding them to zero. All right, everyone. Have a good day. Be careful out there. And this market is getting very overbought very quickly. Have a good evening. A good day.